Hey yo, it's your boy Vigilante Styles. Here I am on the microphone again, baby. Yeah. Anyway, what are we gonna do today? We're going to do a mix of a boom bap beat that I made, and I did this. We're going to mix this on a SSL 9000J because I found that when we mix with the SSL 9000J and then I do an analog style master, that it sounds really overpowered and fucking awesome. So therefore, we're going to continue down this road because maybe I am probably being won over by the SSL 9000J. I don't know, but who knows? The flavor of the day is the 9000J. And we'll slap you across your fat ass with a fat dick on W balls. You're about to hear some shit and W balls, W balls, W balls. Anyway, so I'm fucking around, man. You know what it is. You know what it is, man. It's all good. I see now some people probably checking my video and they're like, you fucking stupid, you fucking idiot, you can't mix for shit, and fuck you, and fuck your plugins, fuck your stupid Studio One software, because I use Pro Tools, and I'm a pro. I'm a pro. Fucking bastards, man. You know what I'm saying? I always hear this stupid whiny ass shit. Use Pro Tools. Fucking idiots. You know what I'm saying? I can't deal with this fucking mental breakdown shit these people have. You know, like, look, hey, check this out, man. Before I even get started, okay, is that I have seen lately in lots of plugin commercials recently, you know, ones for the SSL 4KB and for, I don't know, a whole plethora of other plugins, ones for Brainworx, Plugin Alliance, you name it, right? I'm seeing ads, and the studio software they have in the background, motherfuckers, is Studio One, bitch. Okay? That's what they have in the fucking background now. Everybody's on this shit. This is the new industry standard. Fuck Pro Tools and fuck their subscription model shit. And fuck anybody who's into that subscription model shit. So fuck UAD once again with Spark. I mean, this is... Okay, now I'm going to talk some shit. I'm going to talk some shit about Spark. Okay? First of all, why the fuck do we have to buy fucking hardware or be on a subscription model to use their fucking plugins? Their plugins aren't that fucking great. They're decent, but they're not that fucking great, man. Like, the equivalent for all the shit that people use on fucking UAD... They already have a Brainworx, dude. Like, you don't even need your plugin alliance. All this shit. And a lot of the times, like, some of these new UAD plugins are actually just Brainworx plugins. And they just slap the UAD fucking logo on it and call it a day. And it's like, get your head out of your ass, UAD. Put that Neve 88RS channel strip and make that fucking... You know what I'm saying? Like, they could do the legacy one, right? We have the processing power. We don't need your fucking box. Okay, so fuck your box. Just put that fucking thing on the motherfucking market so we can fucking buy it with our fucking money, so we can buy your fucking plugins, so we can use the fucking Neve 88R. I'm like fucking mixing shit together right now in my brain right now. Neve 88RS channel strip. Okay, I want this, right? But maybe I don't need it because I got the SSL 9000J, and maybe UAD can suck my fucking dick. I don't know. Perhaps. You like my radio voice, that late night DJ voice? Fuck those UAD plugins. We don't need them. We have our own shit. We have Brainworx. And anyhow, besides this Friday, I'm wearing a dirty nightshirt, by the way. And it's okay. I can do whatever I want in my videos. It's my YouTube channel. And the motherfuckers who don't like it, they can suck these nuts. And they can tongue my booty hole. So anyway... Let's get to mixing, and let's quit acting like a fucking idiot. All right. I'm sorry, I have a habit of opening up my OBS studio when I can just press this button right here. Okay, maybe I can teach you guys what I'm doing. So, if you want to use the SSL 9000J plugin properly, the first thing that you're going to want to do, and I could do this again, doesn't matter. I mean, this kick drum sounds decent, but let's reset everything. So, the first thing that you're going to want to do when you load this on every channel in your session is then to hit randomize or random channel all. Because and it's going to give you a warning. Oh, fuck the warning, just hit OK. Right? Because now it randoms the channels on multiple tracks. And when it does that, you already have the width. I mean, maybe you could be picky about certain channels, but I'm not. I like my mixes to sound a little different every time, but have the same character, that great SSL 9000 sound. Or before it was the 4000 sound, but I'm using the 9000 and I'm starting to get good results with it. Oh, and another thing, for those who are using the 9000J plugin, work from left to right like you're doing math. So we're going to work left, we're going to set the dynamics. Then you're going to want to set they don't have the noise gated, but we want the noise. The noise sounds good, but we want to gate it. Hit the range, put it at 12 o'clock. Then work your EQs. You can choose to mess around with the right side EQ knobs, which is picking your frequencies, or you can just leave it where it's default and just turn the knobs on the left. These are your cues. I don't mess with those, but you can if you want. If you want to be that ADD about it, you can. Otherwise, here's your bell if you want to switch to bells, or just leave it at shelf. Pre, if you turn off pre, you set the compressor after the EQ, which then means that the EQ is behind the compressor and you can EQ into the compressor, which in my opinion, especially on SSLs, sounds good. Now, let's continue. Now, another thing you might be asking yourself is, why am I using a fast release on drums? Because with the compressor to start acting on the drums and get off. We don't want it to continue compressing too hard. We just want to... The idea here is that I believe that we have a fixed attack time, and it's like a medium attack. We can do a fast attack by pushing in this button, or actually pulling it. If we were on the console, you pull it up, I guess. Maybe that's how the console is. I don't know. But... by doing so, you will have a fast attack. But we don't want a fast attack. We want we want a medium attack, actually, or a slower attack, because we want the additional kick, of the transient or whatever to pop through the mix. And then we want the compressor to act shortly afterwards. It just sounds good that way. And why am I doing the 8 ratio, 8-to-1 ratio, or 8-0-1? Is because I read an old article from Dr. Dre that he mixes on SSL consoles, only uses the SSL console, very little outboard except that of a DBX 160, and compressor on vocals, and then fast release times. Well, not the release time I learned from Chris Lord Algae, one of his videos, but for drums. But the ratio at 8, he goes, Dr. Dre would go between 8 and 10. And then just adjust till he sees fit. It is some pretty aggressive compression, but it sounds good. It gets the sound sounding really nice and big and kind of, I don't know, they seem to sit better in the mix this way. And of course, like I said, I'm gating the noise when I go here. There you go. Put it at 12 o'clock and then move on to your EQ. Okay, let's go. My bad, my elbow hit that shit. So, you know, when you're mixing, you want to start with your kick drum, and then you want usually the bass afterwards, but in this case, I worked out the drum loops, snares, and whatnot. But the idea, though, when I brought in the 809, it's an 808 and a 909 blend. So I wanted that to be underneath. I want to make sure that the kick drum pops through. I don't want the 808 to take away from that pop out of the kick drum. So I want to make sure it stays just below that. So that you hear the 808 kind of fill the space. You can sidechain, I guess, but that to me is way too aggressive. And the reason why is because it literally just ducks everything out so the kick drum pops through. But it really doesn't allow the kick drum to have any power. I think that's good for like EDM music because you want that pumping action. I don't want that pumping action in hip hop music. I don't. So I think that the side chaining trick is not a good thing. It makes the kick kind of sound a little too, excuse me, it just doesn't have power. It just ducks everything out of the way for that second. And it just kind of sounds like this, like that. Excuse me. God, I don't know why my digestive system just fucks up so hard while I'm fucking doing videos. But anyway, it just pops through like that. And I don't like that kind of effect with kick drums and stuff. A lot of people are really bad at mixing kick drums, I've noticed. I hear like cars driving by and stuff, and I can hear like the hats going, and I can hear the snare, you know, but then the kick drum is just like not even there. I mean, it's there. You hear like the 808, like the fuzz from the 808, but you don't really hear that. You know, when they sidechain it, then you might hear the, but it's still like flat and then under and kind of almost underneath everything, and it's just so it's like more like a, I don't know, you know, it's the only way I can explain it. It's like that's kind of how I'm hearing it in a way, and I go, God, man, so many people, even in this town, like in Atlanta, man, dude, a lot of guys can't mix for shit here, dude. They really can't, and I can hear that in cars and stuff, and I go, God, why is everybody so anti-kick drum anymore, you know? Like, well, they want the 808, but they don't really want no kick drum power. Fuck that, man. Hip-hop has always been about strong kicks, bro. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me continue. Now, in your feed, this might be somewhat low, but I'm mixing it low volume for a good reason, right? I want to make sure I hear everything. But I mean, I am hearing everything, but I don't want, so maybe when you're watching this or something like that, you might be, you know, playing on your monitors and you can turn it up and you can hear what I'm doing and how that sounds really good. But yeah, I'm mixing it low volumes because I want to hear everything clean. And then we're going to make it loud during mastering. And when it's loud during mastering, this shit is going to bang like a motherfucker. That's all I'm telling you. When this is mastered, this is going to be loud, and this shit is going to be hitting. Blow your fucking mind hitting, dude. Serious. Especially with the setup I got in here. By the way, if you're trying to recreate the SSL 9000J, make sure when you go to Brick Console, you go to Superb Analog. Right here. Superb Analog. Oh, I noticed that the character is at 2.5, which means that it's basically run through the console 2.5 times. Considering that these tracks are completely clean, I guess that's okay. But I would prefer to put the character down to 1. I'm going to put the character down to 1. Fuck that, right? So that means that it's only passing through the console 1 time. I don't want 2.5 times. I just noticed this, by the way, so caught this. Yeah, 1 time. I want it to go through 1 time. I don't want the signal to pass through 2.5 times. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense because that's like recording into the console, into like Pro Tools or something, and then mixed through it, and then I don't know what the 0.5 would be for half a time. But fuck that. 1 time is good. That's all we need. All right, so let's continue. I'm sorry, guys. This kind of music makes me feel good, you know? So, like, I actually made this beat, but what I did is, you know, I used a couple, like, breakbeat loops, and then I added stacked drums on top of it, which, if I remember correctly, oh, yeah, it was an old kit that you probably can't find on the internet anymore, called, it's from Sound Mob. And it was the SSL 4000G drums. So these are drums that were processed through an SSL 4000G series console. And then the sample is from Barry White, which is All Our Dreams Are Coming True. And then let's see, what else did I do? Oh, and then the vibe kit for the R&B sprinkles, and for the 809 kick. So I found the key of the sample by using Tuner in FL Studio, and then I tuned the kick drum to the scale of the sample, and then, you know, I just played along with it. And then that was my bass line. And then I added that fruity love filter effect right here that's making the sample kind of, you know, do that kind of that sweepy sound to it. And then that was it. I didn't do any like analog style processing or anything. I just was going to do all the processing in the 9000J. So part of the philosophy behind me using this 9000J as opposed to my 4000E right now is the fact that a lot of sounds are already pretty processed. So I'm kind of like, maybe I don't need to be adding so much color. There's a little color on this. I mean, like, for instance, the 9000J plugin has, I don't know, it seems like the noise from what I saw in Plugin Doctor was showing like a little bit of saturation, not saturation, but maybe some harmonics of some kind generated by the noise, or at least it's at the level of the noise. And I kind of thought that it didn't sound as clean as SSL native, even though it's supposed to be pretty similar. So I go, yeah, it's not as clean as the SSL native. And then of course you have the tolerance modeling, which gives it more that width, you know, which kind of gives it more of that console vibe. But to me, like when I use the 9000J, it still has an analog sound to it, despite its cleanliness, you know. And then there are harmonics here. We do have harmonics here. There's a little bit of drive. We have gated noise here as well, and crosstalk. So that kind of helps with the console sound idea, along with what's already being given from the plugin. Then there are harmonics on the Townhouse bus compressor. So I'm just getting just a tad bit, and it's like transformer saturation. It's actually a blend between like even and odd harmonics, about even distribution between the two. So you're getting even and odd harmonics, and just getting a touch really on the low end, a little bit on the Townhouse bus compressor. So I figured, well, that's just enough to make it sound like a desk, right? Console-like. I couldn't do this with SSL native because they don't have that little bit of weird harmonics going on in the noise because they don't have noise on it. So to me, this sounds like a convincing console mix. And then during my mastering stage, I'm using this Shadow Hills mastering compressor and Master Desk, which both have THD in it already. So now I'm getting a little bit more harmonic. So then in the end, I kind of feel like, okay, I'm getting a really clean mix, but it also has a little bit of that vibe, you know what I mean? That harmonic vibe that makes things sound so damn good. So, like I said, it is technically, that's distortion, but it's like really nice sounding distortion and really fine. Like I like to compare it to sandpaper. You have coarse sandpaper, which is that crunchy distortion you hear like on electric guitars, and then to me, like that really fine sandpaper that smooths things out. That's how I like to equate harmonic distortion that you get, like transformer distortion, tape saturation, and stuff like that. It's really fine. It smooths things out, and that's like what fine sandpaper does, like over wood. It like smooths the wood, you know. So that's kind of the way I that's my analogy for doing this with plugins, is that tape saturation, transformer saturation to smoothing things out. And of course, a distortion pedal is going to be really crunchy and really big and bold distortion. And, but so we do like, I think everybody to some degree likes the sound of some distortion, but it's got to be done in a tasteful way. And I think the smoothing is what makes things sound really good, as opposed to, like, let's say somebody who doesn't know what they're doing and they're just like harsh digital distortion. That's terrible. I'm sorry. That shit sounds disgusting to me. It's like chalk, the fork on the chalkboard sound, I can't do that shit. And some people do, and some people like that, but it just sounds very harsh and just sounds ugly. And I hear that in people's cars when they're driving by. I can hear that ugly ass shit, when they're driving by, here in Atlanta and stuff. I can hear that ugly ass shit. I go, these guys, that sounds terrible, and nobody knows how to fucking mix. So, don't get me wrong, there's like over 300 studios in this town. And, some of these studios can get you a good mix, but a lot of them can't. Because I don't know, I've never really paid attention much to other people's processes, but I know that their processes, from what people have like tried to teach me and stuff back in the day, are pretty confusing and stupid processes, to be honest. They're really overcooking sounds, and that's, in a way, that's how you should see this. You're cooking, so you want it. Good cooking is like adding a little bit of things here and there until you have a cohesive dinner, that's really good, instead of just going overkill on the salt and pepper and the fucking cayenne pepper and the fucking cheese and the butter and all that other fucking shit. Just go like, like a little bit of butter is good. A whole stick of fucking butter, is like way too much, And I kind of see that like when people are like over compressing things. That's like throwing a whole stick of butter in the fucking, like in a bowl of fucking chili or something, like, dude, tiny bit, man, and it's good. Don't throw the whole fucking stick in, whole block of cheese on a cracker. You know what I'm saying? Like on a Ritz cracker, the whole block of cheese on it. That's like the way these guys do 808s, versus their snare drum sounding like a hi-hat. Tiny little hat, and I really sound like a drum. And get that, though, they're doing the 808, but then it's like melted cheese because they take the size out of it in the end. And I don't know, just crazy shit. Anyway, on that note, I think this mix is done. What do you think, Roger? Is it done? Roger? Okay, I need to print this fucking shit, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to turn it down, though. See, I have it at negative 4.6. Right now, I'm going to turn it down to about 10. I think that's a safe export. That's giving plenty of headroom, on the export. We want to just check out how that sounds. This is what it sounds like this. So I'm watching these meters right here. Okay, so I got quite an intro going here. Save that. So like negative 15 on peak, negative 8. Yeah, it's good export. Just take it down negative 10, export that. That's perfect. You've got plenty of headroom for mastering. I'm sorry, this beat makes me feel fucking good all inside, like fucking warm butterflies and shit. Like this is like a sunny day. This is like fucking golden afternoon fucking weather, you know what I'm saying? Perfect fucking temperature shit. Butterflies, birds fucking flying around and shit. People smoking weed, Just a colorful, vibrant life. Dude, that's what we need in our music, man. What's up with all this hoe-ass shit people are making? Dude, we need to make some good shit like this. I know I'm old, but so what, man? Need variety. Variety is the spice of life. Can't have everybody doing the auto-tune and whiny-ass shit. Alright, look, I'm not gonna make you guys hear my beat again, but let's be honest. It's fire, man. I think it is. Like, just that sample right there, man. Just picking that sample and doing the shit that I'm doing with it, man. It's just, this just feels good, man. I feel like I got fucking rainbows going through my bloodstream right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Just that kind of good shit. It makes you just feel good. It makes you want to be alive. Want to go take a deep breath of fresh air and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit that I be seeing in my mind. You know what I'm saying? When I'm mixing or when I'm making beats or anything, you know? That's, you gotta paint a picture with your sounds, you know what I'm saying? And that's the picture I'm picturing in my head, man. Just like going for a walk on a fucking nice day, man, in the city, man. Got the fucking badass buildings, the fucking sun shining through, everybody in a good mood and shit. Blunt in hand, you know what I'm saying? Getting some, you know, just feeling good about some shit, you know what I'm saying? My bad, when I talk into the mic, I don't look at the camera, I look at the mic. Don't worry, I'll discipline myself to eventually keep looking at you guys. Because that's who I'm really talking to, you know? But then I want to make sure that my voice is really loud and clear. And there was a dude who said I talk too much. Fuck you, bitch. Talk as much as I want, motherfucker. You don't want to hear me talk, then don't watch my shit. That attitude will never get you anywhere in the music business. And no pros will ever work with you. Well, they don't need to work with me, man. They already have their engineers, man. I'm just trying to make YouTube videos, man. Bring some happiness to you guys' life and to show you some simple ways to get fire mixes, you know what I'm saying? So you could just focus on your creativity, man, and be creative. We don't have to be bogged down by the process. Anyway, that's my shit for the day. Anyway, it's your boy Vigilante Styles. Thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in today. And checking out this fire mix. I'm going to go master this off camera, but you can guarantee it will be fucking amazing. Until next time, see you later. Peace.